not, I'm not happy. But what I'm thinking about really are really people that God might want to bring into this church. And I want to ask you to do two things. First, I want to ask you to just begin to pray for them by name and ask God to create an opportunity to invite them. And then, the second thing is I just want you to be available to invite them. Now, step 2 is the courageous part. That takes real courage. I'm pretty outgoing, and I'm pretty unintimidated by people, but I have friends who are disconnected from Christ in their church, and I have one friend in particular, and I've invited him to church, and he's turned me down a bunch of times. And it's kind of hard. I don't like to be turned down. But I just decided, you know what? Every time I ask him, I'm asking him a good thing. It's the best place he can be, in my opinion, is right here. So I'm going to just keep asking him. And we have a friendship, and I do it graciously, and he's not offended. And what I always tell him is, you know, I come as a guy who does our money management. I say, I always come to your office. When are you going to come to my work, man? Of course, I get to do that because I'm a pastor, but we have that kind of relationship. So I want to ask us to put this into action by doing that. And take this, I don't know, put it in the dash of your car, or put it in the mirror above your kitchen or bathroom sink, or stick it in your Bible, wherever you'll see it. And 30 seconds a day, that's all it takes. To just say, Lord, I remind you of these people. Open up their hearts to be invited to St. Pat's and create an opportunity for me to do that. I'm asking all of us to do that. I've already got my names down, and I'm already praying. So let me just review real quick. I'm asking all of us to do some things. I'm asking us to pray, using our prayer guide, if you can, to come after church and gather on these Sundays. 2, I'm asking us to welcome. I'm asking us to be a welcoming community, all of us to practice welcome. And 3, and by doing that through the 3-minute rule that we talk about every Sunday. And then 3, I'm asking us to invite 3 people that we pray into their lives and ask God to open up their lives to come visit our church. Now here's what I'm going to do to help support all the things I'm asking you to do. Number 1, I'm working with different groups in our ministry teams and people that think about this to do a better job of the more organized welcome stuff. Our welcome team, our signage, helping people know where they need to go. We're in a conversation right now to radically improve our nursery because we know that if that's bad, it's a bummer for us, but even as we bring guests, it's even worse. Then I'm working with Andy Marks to how can we help people as they come and join us, really understand how to plug in and find places to plug in and really connect in life for the church. So we're working on that. We're working on that. And then another thing we're doing, and this really relates to the invite practice, is the leadership committees has scheduled in your calendar 3 different Sundays that we're going to just name as Friend or Invite Sundays. I don't have any fancy name for it. They're these Sundays. December 2nd, in Advent, we're going to have Advent lessons and carols. We've done that before. When we did it before, it was a Friend Sunday. It was a great day. We just did worship like we do worship. And we did it well, and we invited friends to join us, and then we threw out the stops in terms of partying afterwards. And it created space for us to welcome people. So we're going to organize that and try to resource everyone to be able to practice invitation for that day. We do the same for Easter Sunday, and the same in May when we have an arts night, another poema as a church. What a great night to invite friends to come and share in the fun with us. So we're going to try those things. They might not really hit it where we need to go. But you know what? You're human. I'm human. Only God is God. But it gets us rolling. It gets us moving in the right direction to cooperate with God and see Him do what He needs to do, what I think He wants to do to grow our church. Now I want to close with this. And usually when pastors say I want to close with this, it means absolutely nothing. But this time it really does. The story of Abram that we read. It's a powerful story. It's a story about change. It's a story about change. Here's Abram, and maybe, he was a pretty successful business person in the Fertile Crescent, quite wealthy, quite well-traveled, so maybe he was sort of a restless soul, and so when God called him, he already had a bit of wanderlust. I don't know. All we know is this. God shows up in front of Abram, and God says, I got a vision for you. I'm going to make you the father of many nations. In fact, Abram, I'm going to bless every tribe, every tongue, every nation through you. How would you like God to tell you that? That would be pretty cool. I mean, I think I would be really excited. Like, you picked me to do that? That's amazing. And then God says, I'm also going to give you land of Canaan. It's going to become yours, and you're going to take it. And it'll be for future generations to have. Now, if you know the story of Abram, you know that first, he got to live in Canaan, but he never really possessed any land. He's always a nomad. The only land he possessed was his grave. So he never got to see that promise fulfilled. And then, of course, it wasn't until Jesus came that the promise to bring blessing to all nations began to really seriously unfold. So Abraham didn't even get to see all this stuff. And yet God gave him this long-term vision, this far view. But what was the near view? Abram, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. Leave your country, leave your relatives, leave your home. I'm calling you to leave and go. The Abraham story is an archetypal story for the whole Bible. God does this over and over and over. He calls us to leave behind something that is present and calls us into something new. But what's interesting is it seems like the way God does that is you don't totally leave behind the old. There's something about the old that lives into the new. But think about Abram's name. He's named Abram, but if you know the story, a few chapters later, God confirms his covenant with Abram, and what does he call him? Abraham. And it's a cognate of the word Yahweh added to his name. His name